Yo guys, what is going on? This is Yoki Man back here, and we have finished our season. We finished our first season with Alpha United. Exciting. And it's safe to say that I still am the manager. Now, do we do transfers first? Let's do the transfers. As you can remember, Panic buyed tons and tons of players. Some more players have gone out. I think Jeff Whitley not doing anything for us. Really not doing anything for us. He was one of them. He was, he was brought in because I panicked. Declan Kane as well did nothing for us. He's 19, but he didn't look like he was going to improve. And I've learned now probably the level of player in this league. Rachuka didn't really need him. He was just an old player who we were paying a wage for no reason. My wage bill was huge. Paul Clayton went as well. Just didn't need him. He was just an extra wage. I was playing an Anthony Abrahams, who actually is a very good player. But again, he was just someone who was on the wage bill, someone who I didn't need on the wage bill. So I decided to let him go. The board weren't too impressed that I let him go, but it's done now. So I brought in Gaston Lopez on loan, who I'm actually going to miss when he goes. He came in, he played 7 games. His average rating was 7.24. He was a brilliant loan. Whether I can sign him or get him in on loan again, like his value isn't that big. Like to sign him, he wouldn't cost that much, but I need to know what wage budget I'm going to be given. If I've got enough wage budget, he's definitely someone I'm going straight for. Marcel Andras, just more help in defensive position, a little bit of experience, can play left back because really my left backs aren't very good. And not a bad player at this level. He's only had, 3 games, but a 6.8 compared to what my left backs have had all season, that to me is good. Um, Ludovic Agrati, now he's just come in to the club. He looks like a good 22-year-old. He's probably the best attacking midfielder we've got, which we play an attacking midfielder in my formation. So I'm very happy to have him in. As you can see from his stats, he looks like he's going to be a good player for us. And Lucas Serkin, again, on a free youngster, I thought now is a chance to bring some youngsters in. He's a Brazilian. I don't know how we got him. He looks like a brilliant player for the future, hoping that these two players, both attacking midfielders, but he could play right as well, can have an instant impact for the squad this year, because I would actually, after the end of the season, like to take the squad, to promotion this season, hopefully. So as you can remember, we'd just gone on this little run, and then we got a draw, and I'm going to do this slowly because it's quite exciting for me. And we got a draw, and then we come with 2 losses. We lost to Police 3-2, which was a tough one to take. Sean Bishop and Mitch Harding scoring, and Spartan International, David Healy getting his first goal, but again, we lost him too. We then come back and won 3-1. So for me, I was like, all right, so the squad is actually a good squad. J2 Young, who had, a very good season, and finally I had, in my eyes, a defence that was starting to gel. So Chaparro and Ryan Austin scoring, and I had a good defence there. And then we lost to AS Dragons, who actually had a really good season. So I wasn't too down about that. And them, if I scrolled out, we lost one more game. We just went off. We went ridiculous. We lost one more game in that and drew one. We had the best run I could have ever expected. If we'd have played like this at the start of the year, we might have even gone up. It was insane, boys. I cannot believe it. It was nuts. I was absolutely wetting myself that I was going to lose my job, and then boom, win, 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 win. Brilliant. Then played Rangers. We won 3-1, and this is where I found a genius who was already in my squad. I didn't even need to sign. A genius in Jevon Francis. 2 goals in this, absolutely brilliant, and Josh Law scores as well. Black Star 5-0. Never in my dreams did I imagine a 5-0, and Jevon Francis pays off again. 3 goals, he gets his hat-trick, and I hadn't really played him all season, so now I feel like an idiot for not playing him, because he came in and he was awesome. Chaparro scores and Healy scores as well, so I was happy that Healy was picking up the odd goal. Game after, Jevon Francis, 2 goals. He hit form when I needed him to hit form, and he was just off the boil. He was keeping any striker out of the squad. David Healy was actually playing as an attacking midfielder and did well in that role, to be fair. ASPL 2000, we then went in and Jevon Francis, he had probably his worst game of the season in this, one of his worst games of the season. But Walid Mazuri and Chaparro getting a goal, but he did score an own goal as well, which was a bit of a shame. We then went on to give, I kept my faith in Jevon Francis, 2 goals, and we go on and win 2-1. Then we drew to Kitchee, which was understandable because Kitchee were at the top end of the table. So that was understandable, and it wasn't the greatest game. Jevon Francis actually came off the bench. I gave it to Chetu Young to start, and he was just missing the whole game. I bring Jevon back in. Gaston Lopez gets his first start off of the first appearance off of the bench. I just loaned him in at this point. He scores, and so does Francis. We then lost 3-1, and this was a very good team. Francis had a really poor game. The whole squad had a pretty poor game. Chetu Young comes on and scores, but at that point I was like, oh no, is that the run over? But then we came back again. 3-1 against the Warriors. Chaparro getting 2 and Jevon Francis getting 1. Chaparro's been brilliant as well. He's going to be a beast for the rest of the season. And then Notre Dame, the last game of the season, I wanted to win. Jevon Francis, Matthew Palmer, and Chetu Young score. And, it says 15th up here, but on this end of season run, on this end of season run, these wins all the way from here down, we really could have had a better season because our start was just awful. But anyway, 15th in the league, which keeps the board happy because they wanted mid-table. 15th in the league. We struggled to claw anyway further up than 18th, because we dug ourselves such a hole. It's not a bad end. You can see the teams that went up here, and we even beat them 2-1. You can see the teams that went up here, and right, so I don't know what happened there. Anyway, so just as I was showing you real quick that I'll show you in this view, they're the teams that went up. And, it was a good season for us all around, to be fair. In my opinion, we had a very good time. Let's just have a quick look at the squad. Yeah, selection info. So it's our average rated best player was Jevon Francis, and it's not a surprise. 12 appearances, guys. 4 off the bench, 19 goals. Unbelievably ridiculous. Chaparro after that, which doesn't surprise me whatsoever. And I feel we've got a good squad. It's a huge squad. There's a lot of players that overkill. I need to get out, get off the books. Shouldn't be in the squad. But I know now the base of the squad that I need for next season. The top goal scorer was Francis, and then Chetu Young, and then following after, Chaparro. Mitch Harding had, an okay season, but I mean, Francis is 31, so I reckon we got another season out of him. Hopefully he can put up the same numbers next year. But the plan is when he comes out, Chetu Young comes in, the 24-year-old Korean, and hopefully takes his place. He had an okay season, pretty average, but an okay season. But that is really it. I'll just have you show you the tactics real quick. But there's not much more to consider for next season. Now, obviously, everyone's on holiday, but this is kind of the way we were lining up for every game. And it worked out really well. I mean, the centre mid swapped a lot. Healy would come in here and Bassani was come back and play in the centre. And this kind of formation did swap around a lot. The only position, like the centre of defence and the right back stayed the same pretty much as soon as I got it sorted. Gilrain would come in at right back though. And Vasquez would come in the centre. But apart from that, it pretty much stayed the same, apart from Hancock or Yoga or, other left backs. Andras had a few games at left back and so did Shane Killick. I couldn't nail down a left back. James Laurie as well. I'm getting a lot of information that he's coming on. I gave him a few games towards the end of the season. He actually got his first goal, so maybe in my plans. But really a lot of this is dead wood that will either just be released, sold or shipped on. Because we've got far too many players in the club that we don't really need. What's our most expensive player? Let's just have a quick look. So coming in now, Lucas Serkin. is our most valued player. J2 Young has a good value on him. So, there may be money to be made, but we'll see what the board give me for next season. But anyway, guys, that's the end of this episode. Make sure you leave a like. Make sure you subscribe if you're not subscribed. Obviously, the more likes and the more comments and views I get on the series, the more, it makes me want to record it, even though I'm quite into this series. I'm quite enjoying it, as well as the Stoke one. And I'm excited to see how these youngsters can do next season. But leave comments, guys. Make sure you're putting comments in of players that you may think I could sign at the club. I will bring you an update just before the start of the season of players that have come in and actually the budget we were given, because I don't have a clue, what budget I'm going to have. Hopefully a pretty hefty one, because the club's a good club. Actually, if we take a quick look at the finances, we're hemorrhaging money, but we've just started to make money again because I cut the wage bill down completely. So I don't know if the chairman's just going to pump more money in. Hopefully he will. We have, if we go to the boardroom, we're building a new stadium. So we're going to have our own stadium now, which is good because that's more revenue for us. I like that, and it's a pretty well-sized stadium. I think it's 8,000 seater for us, which is good. Yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I'm on Twitter now, so make sure you follow at YorkieMan. Yeah, that's it. Catch you later, guys.